Are you leaving?
Nathaniel, look at me. Are you really walking away from us?
I have to.
For her?
The day Nathaniel Whitmore walked out on his wife and daughter, Jasmine believed another woman had finally become more important than their family. She was wrong.
Mom, Dad,
We're here. We're both right here.
don't let me die.
I won't.
We've exhausted every treatment available to us.
Then find another one.
There is one. Where? The Harrington Institute.
Just tell me there isn't another woman. You fought your entire family for me.
Maybe I was wrong.
Welcome to Love and Sacrifice, where hearts are tested, choices have consequences, and sometimes love costs everything. 3 weeks separated two versions of Nathaniel Whitmore that Jasmine could not reconcile. In one, he stood beside their daughter's hospital bed and promised he would not let her die. In the other, he looked at the woman he had loved for 6 years and told her that perhaps choosing her had been a mistake. Jasmine did not know what had happened between those two moments. She only knew that somewhere inside the Harrington Institute was the last hope for Faith's life. And somehow, before Faith could be saved, Nathaniel would become the man Jasmine no longer recognized. To understand why, the story had to begin 6 years earlier. On the day Nathaniel Whitmore was first asked to choose between Jasmine and everything else,
If you marry her, you walk away from this family.
Then keep it.
Nathaniel lost his inheritance. He did not lose his ambition. Within a few years, the company he built away from the Whitmore empire had made him wealthy enough that his father's threat eventually became almost laughable. But Jasmine knew something money could never rewrite. Nathaniel had chosen her before he knew whether he would ever recover what choosing her cost him. He had grown up surrounded by people who discussed marriage the way other families discussed acquisitions. Years earlier, Everett Harrington had even floated the possibility of Nathaniel eventually marrying his only daughter, Evelyn.
A man like you should start thinking beyond ambition, legacy, family, the right kind of partnership. Evelyn would make an exceptional wife.
With respect, sir, no. My future won't be arranged.
Nathaniel dismissed it so completely that Jasmine barely remembered the name. That was why she trusted his love without reservation. Then Jasmine's sister Serena died. Faith arrived carrying a little suitcase, a stuffed rabbit, and the bewildered silence of a child who could not understand why the person who had always come back was not coming back anymore. Jasmine thought Faith needed her. She never expected how quickly Faith would need Nathaniel too.
Better?
Good night, Dad.
Nathaniel never asked Faith to call him Dad again. He did not need to. The word simply stayed. He learned which stories she wanted twice, which vegetables she would hide beneath mashed potatoes, and that the blue ribbon had to go on the left side of her hair because apparently there were rules to these things. Jasmine would sometimes stand in the kitchen doorway watching the two of them argue over pancakes and wonder how a little girl who had lost so much had somehow made their home feel fuller. For 3 years, they became careless with happiness. Then Faith began sleeping through afternoons. Bruises appeared where Jasmine could not remember seeing her fall. She stopped finishing meals. And one afternoon, her school called.
Mom, Dad,
We're here. We're both right here.
don't let me die.
I won't.
We've exhausted every treatment available to us.
Then find another one.
There is one. Where? The Harrington Institute.
Everett Harrington did not need Nathaniel's money. That was Nathaniel's first mistake. Harrington had spent 3 decades building one of the most advanced private medical organizations in the country. Evelyn was his only child and intended successor. She understood the institution, but Harrington believed the empire he had built needed a formidable business mind beside her after he was gone. Years earlier, before Jasmine, he had quietly imagined Nathaniel in that role. Nathaniel's decision to reject the Whitmore inheritance and build an empire of his own only strengthened Harrington's conviction that he had identified the right man. Money could be donated, investors could leave, partnerships could dissolve. Harrington wanted permanence, he wanted family, and Faith's illness had finally placed something in his hands Nathaniel could not replace.
Name your price.
I don't need your money. Marry Evelyn. Stand beside her when this becomes hers.
No.
then find another treatment.
Nathaniel refused Harrington. Then he spent every hour afterward trying to make that refusal possible. He contacted specialists across the United States and overseas. He offered to finance entire research programs. He asked whether Faith could be transferred, whether another team could reproduce the protocol, whether lawyers could force emergency access. Money was not useless. Time was. The Harrington therapy was experimental, tightly controlled, and not commercially available. Faith did not have months for a court fight or years for another laboratory to catch up. Every specialist eventually gave Nathaniel the same answer. Harrington's protocol was the only treatment known to have achieved complete remission in Faith's specific condition, not a guaranteed cure, her only realistic chance. And through all of it, Jasmine watched Nathaniel fight, without ever knowing what Harrington had asked him to surrender.
Dad,
I'm here.
I'm going to get better, right?
Yes,
Promise?
I promise.
This time, he did not ask what Harrington wanted. He already knew. But even desperate, Nathaniel negotiated. Faith would begin treatment immediately. Once the therapy started, Harrington could never remove her from the active protocol, because Nathaniel changed his mind, because the business alliance failed, or because any marriage later ended. Faith would never again be bargaining material. Harrington agreed. Nathaniel agreed to everything else.
My father had no right to ask
Faith
this.
started treatment this morning.
Then I'll tell him I won't do it.
Don't.
You don't want to marry me.
No,
Then why are you asking me not to stop this?
because she's responding.
Saving Faith was only the first part of Nathaniel's bargain. The harder part was Jasmine. Nathaniel knew his wife. If he told her the truth, she would never allow him to trade their marriage for Faith's treatment. If he merely asked for a divorce, she would ask why. She would investigate. She would fight. So Nathaniel decided that leaving Jasmine was not enough. He had to make Jasmine stop wanting him to stay. And the woman suddenly appearing beside him made the lie crueler because Jasmine remembered the name, Evelyn Harrington, the woman powerful families had once imagined Nathaniel should marry before he chose Jasmine instead. The man who had spent 6 years making his wife feel chosen began teaching her to believe that perhaps his family had been right all along.
Just tell me there isn't another woman. You fought your entire family for me.
Maybe I was wrong.
But you said we were your family.
You are.
Then why are you leaving?
Because I have to do something for you.
By leaving me?
I'm sorry.
Nathaniel left Jasmine almost everything he could without explaining why. The house, financial security, every protection he could arrange without turning his sacrifice into a confession. Jasmine rejected much of it. She told him, "I don't want to be compensated for loving you." Then, almost immediately after their marriage collapsed, Faith began improving. The doctors used one word carefully: remission. They did not say cured. Faith would need regular blood work, scans, and long-term monitoring because the disease could return. Jasmine held onto the word remission anyway. Then photographs of Nathaniel and Evelyn appeared everywhere. To Jasmine, the timing answered every question. Nathaniel had not simply fallen for another woman. He had chosen the woman his world had once considered more suitable all along. To Nathaniel, the marriage was only the receipt for a promise he had kept.
I made dinner. Will you sit with me?
Thank you, Evelyn. Not tonight.
Evelyn had promised herself she would never beg Nathaniel to love her. She did not. Instead, she tried to make love unnecessary at first. Friendship, she thought, could come before it. Once, months into their marriage, she made him laugh so unexpectedly that Evelyn carried the sound with her for the rest of the evening. But that was the dangerous part. Nathaniel was not cruel to her. Cruelty would have been easier. He was thoughtful and respectful, everything a good husband might be, except in love. While Evelyn was learning how Nathaniel took his coffee, Jasmine was learning something harder: how to stop making 2 cups, how to hear a car outside without wondering whether it was his, how to answer Faith when she asked questions Jasmine herself could not answer. Faith was getting better. That should have made everything easier. Instead, recovery gave the little girl enough strength to begin missing Nathaniel properly. At first, she asked when he was coming home. Later, she stopped asking. Jasmine never decided which was worse.
Mom, I think I saw someone that looks like Dad today. Do you think Dad saw me?
I don't know, baby. Maybe you just missed him.
You're still awake.
I couldn't sleep.
You should retire early.
Every Tuesday evening,
I'm all right.
Nathaniel disappeared into his study for 20 minutes. For months, Evelyn pretended not to wonder why. Then she saw Faith on his screen beneath paper stars. Nathaniel was smiling. Evelyn had spent months learning the things that made him comfortable. Months hoping affection might quietly grow where love had not. Yet the smile she had been trying to earn belonged effortlessly to a little girl who did not even know he was watching.
You finally understood what marrying beneath this family cost you.
Nathaniel's father taunted him one evening at a gala.
Never speak about that way again.
Your wife is standing right beside you.
You know who I mean.
That night,
You finally
Evelyn finally
understood what
admitted
marrying
something she
beneath
had
this
spent
family
nearly a
cost.
year refusing to name. Jasmine was not Nathaniel's past. She was simply absent from his present.
Is there anything I could become that would make you love me?
No.
Because you never stopped loving her.
Faith's remission held through spring, then summer. Every clean test taught Jasmine to breathe a little more easily. Nathaniel never learned how. 3 months, 6, 9. He read every update twice. The doctors remained cautiously hopeful, but none of them used the word cured. Evelyn understood why Nathaniel never celebrated the way everyone else did. He had bought Faith time. He was still terrified of learning how much. At month 11, one marker rose, then another.
Mom, I'm okay. It's fine.
The test confirmed what Jasmine already feared. The disease was active again.
Faith?
The first therapy had given Faith almost a year of remission. Now an advanced rescue protocol offered another chance, but the protocol was still controlled by the Harrington Institute. Nathaniel learned within hours. Evelyn saw the expression on his face and recognized it immediately. She had seen it only once before, the night Nathaniel agreed to marry her. And suddenly, she understood. He was preparing to pay again. And after nearly a year of trying to win Nathaniel's heart, Evelyn finally understood that loving him required something completely different.
No.
He is your husband.
On paper. Jasmine has been his wife every day I've known him.
Evelyn did not simply overrule her father. She used the position he had spent years preparing her to inherit. She forced the treatment decision out of a private office and into formal governance. If Harrington attempted to deny Faith medical access for personal reasons, the coercive agreement he had used the first time would become visible to the board and council. For the first time, his leverage depended on secrecy he no longer controlled. Nathaniel told Evelyn not to contact Jasmine.
Evelyn, don't go to her.
Evelyn, she deserves to know.
She rebuilt her life. If you tell her now, everything I did will sound like a debt she has to repay. I'd rather she hate me than come back because she thinks she owes me.
But Evelyn finally understood that loving him means letting him go.
Please, it's about Faith.
You don't get to say my daughter's name.
Then let me tell you what Nathaniel did the first time she got sick.
Evelyn did not begin with an apology. She knew there was no apology large enough for what Jasmine believed had happened. Instead, she placed the first document on the table. Faith's treatment authorization. The date was 1 day after Nathaniel's final meeting with Harrington. The next document contained Nathaniel's agreement. Jasmine read the conditions once, then again. Divorce, public union with Evelyn, permanent partnership with the Harrington Institution. And beneath them, the one clause Nathaniel had demanded before signing anything. Once Faith's treatment began, her access could never again be withdrawn because of him. Jasmine's hands began shaking. She still did not understand the part that frightened her most. Why would Nathaniel agree?
So he left me to marry you?
No. He didn't leave you for me, Jasmine. He left you for Faith.
Memory did something cruel when truth entered it. It refused to stay where Jasmine had put it. Every moment she had spent a year surviving came back carrying a different meaning. Nathaniel had not become distant after meeting Evelyn. He had become distant after Faith started dying. The treatment Jasmine believed had arrived because her appeals finally succeeded had begun the morning after Nathaniel surrendered. Even the sentence that had destroyed her changed. Maybe I was wrong. Jasmine had spent a year hearing regret in those words. Now she could hear what had really been there. Goodbye. Nathaniel had not stopped loving her. He had studied everything Jasmine trusted about his love and deliberately turned it against himself until she believed leaving was what he wanted. Jasmine had thought discovering that would make the pain smaller. It did not, because now she knew he had broken her on purpose.
You married another woman to save my daughter?
Our daughter.
You had no right to choose that for me.
She was dying.
So you destroyed us instead?
Because I could survive you hating me. I couldn't survive burying her.
Jasmine understood him. That was not the same thing as forgiving him. She told Nathaniel exactly what his sacrifice had taken from her. He had decided that his pain was expendable. Then he had decided hers was too. He had never asked whether Jasmine would have chosen the same road. He had simply taken away every other road before she knew there was a choice. Nathaniel did not argue. For the first time, he admitted the truth beneath all his certainty. He had been terrified, and terror had convinced him that protecting the people he loved mattered more than trusting them. Jasmine did not return to him that day. Nathaniel did not ask her to. But there was one person who still deserved the truth.
Did you really do all that because of me?
I did it because I love you.
Did you miss me?
Every day.
Evelyn did not disappear after telling the truth. That would have reduced her choice to merely returning a man to another woman. She ended the marriage because she finally understood it should never have existed. Then she turned toward the system her father had abused. Permanent independent review was created for compassionate access decisions. No single founder could privately hold treatment over a family again. Nathaniel supported the reforms. Jasmine eventually thanked Evelyn, not for giving Nathaniel back, because Nathaniel was never property to give, but for telling the truth when silence would have benefited her. The harder repair happened in ordinary places. Coffee while Faith slept. A doctor's appointment they attended together. Homework at Jasmine's dining table. A 5-minute conversation that became 20. Nathaniel never asked Jasmine to forget what he had done. Jasmine never asked him to regret saving Faith. Slowly, they learned the lesson neither had understood the first time. Love could demand sacrifice, but real partnership demanded choice.
I forgot how much noise you make in my kitchen.
I can leave.
I didn't say that.
A year later, Faith stood at the opening of a pediatric treatment center, created partly from the reforms her own case inspired. She was healthy. Evelyn had become a different kind of heir to her father's legacy, determined to preserve what was brilliant about the institution without preserving what was cruel about the man who built it. Nathaniel and Jasmine stood together, not because the past had vanished, because eventually they learned how to live honestly beside it. Faith said that sometimes people made the wrong choice for the right reason. She looked at Nathaniel. Then she added that her mother had taught him something even more important. Saving someone did not mean choosing for them. Jasmine reached for Nathaniel's hand. Nathaniel had once believed love meant being willing to lose everything for the people he loved. He had been partly right, but Jasmine taught him the part sacrifice could not. Love was not deciding what another person could survive. It was trusting them enough to survive it beside you. If you enjoyed this story of sacrifice and love, share and subscribe for more.